variety of reasons, including mechanical failure and severe weather conditions, a chairlift must be evacuated. This program will deal with the basic evacuation procedure and is intended to supplement hands-on training.
Chair 2, 1060, Chair 2. Please respond.
4-1.
4-1 responding.
7-3.
7-3 responding.
Once an abnormal 1060 situation occurs, ski patrol teams are notified and they proceed directly to the most convenient location.
Lower hill personnel, respond to the top of Chair 1 and hold there.
10-4, this is Oliveira. I can make it to the top of Chair 1.
After management, lift maintenance, lift operations, and ski patrol evaluate the situation, a decision may be made to evacuate the lift.
Respond to the top of 19 with evac bags and ropes.
Once this decision has been made, authority for the evacuation transfers to the site leader. From this point on, the site leader assumes responsibility for the evacuation, beginning with team assignments through site cleanup and final paperwork.
I'm Dave Crockett, Assistant Ski Patrol Director here at Mammoth. Good training and proper procedures, frequent practice, and common sense are all important elements in a safe, rapid evacuation. Because of the different designs of chairlifts and the extreme heights or lengths in certain spans, variations of the evacuation procedures have been developed. The standard evacuation procedure uses the haul rope to bring the harness to the guest and to lower the guest to the ground. The other procedures use the communications cable to bring the harness to the guest and then use the chair as support to lower the guest to the ground. Let's first discuss the standard evacuation procedure.
All patrol units, we've received confirmation the power is out and locked out. We are commencing evacuation on Chair 19 at this time.
Hello folks, we're with patrol. We're going to get you down.
At the direction of the site leader, the first teams to respond should begin the evacuation with the most difficult or time-consuming spans.
What I'd like you to do first off is only do what I tell you to do, okay? Okay, we're going to wait for Cal climbing up with our rope.
Upon reaching the top, the patrolman straddles the tower and then passes the harness under the assembly. Hang on to the evac rope after tossing the harness over the roller assembly. The weight of the rope can pull it back over.
Okay, Jerry, tossing it down. All righty.
Use common sense when deciding which guests to evacuate first. Adults can assist children, and more confident guests can help others. The patrolman explaining the procedure to the guest is in charge. The patrolman on belay must wait for his instructions before proceeding.
I pulled a little slack out of the cow. What we'd like you to do is protect your face a little bit. We have to flip the rope onto the finger on top of the chair. Ready, Cal? Yep. You folks ready?
Yep.
Okay. Crossing in front of
The evac rope must be positioned directly on the finger. Make certain that it does not become caught and wedged between the finger and the cable, as it is impossible to free from the ground.
All right, if you can just flip your poles off to the side there, Peter.
Okay.
Lors, pass your poles to Peter. There you go. Alrighty, folks, please pay attention for what I have to tell you. I'm going to show you how to put on our evac harness. It will come up to you like this. Take the red loop, slide it down to the rope. There'll be a large black loop, goes over your head and shoulders, underneath your armpits. And there'll be a red loop right here. Slide the red loop forward. And then there's two small black loops. Put your right arm through one, put your left arm through the other one. Then take your right hand, cinch the red loop to your chest, and do not take your hand away from this position. You will then use your left hand on my command to ease yourself out of the chair. Do you have any questions? Good. Let's go ahead and try it then. Belay on?
On belay.
Alrighty, Dolores, if you can grab onto the rope, Cal's gonna hoist the rope up to you. Go ahead, Cal. Alrighty, Dolores, as I talked about earlier, take the red loop, slide it up to the rope, put the large loop over your head and shoulders and underneath your armpits. Take the red loop, cinch it down to your chest. You'll see two black small loops. Take your right arm, put it into one loop. Take your left arm and put it into the other loop. Take your right arm, cinch the red loop up to your chest and hold it there real tight. Cal, you ready?
Ready.
With your left arm, Dolores, ease yourself out of the chair.
The belay position is specific to each type of evacuation procedure to provide the maximum bite when lowering the guest. For the standard procedure, the belay position must also help keep the evac rope securely on the finger.
Slack. You okay?
Yes,
Think you can ski down from here?
I think so.
Good. If you can just stand over there, Dolores. Give me a minute, we'll get Peter out, then I'll come over and talk to both of you.
Okay.
You all right, Dolores?
Ask each guest if they are injured and if they have the ability to ski to a nearby trail back to the lodge. Mark their lift ticket with your patrol number, the chair number, and the time.
My patrol number and the time that you were evac from the chair. And then at the end,
If the guest feels that they have been inconvenienced, or if they have questions regarding an adjustment to their lift ticket, direct them to ski down to the business office. Do not speculate or suggest anything relating to compensation, as each evacuation has varying circumstances and will be dealt with accordingly.
Put your phone number now too.
Because it's often difficult or even impossible to flip the rope past empty chairs, the communications cable methods were developed. The communications cable procedures have 3 different variations depending on the type of chair encountered. In all of them, a hook and hand line are draped over the communications cable. The different chair types and communications cable methods are the taco, the cross member, and the hook.
here comes the hook, Cal. Okay?
The hook must be lowered on the side of the loaded chairs. Also, lower the hook, don't drop it.
Here comes the spool. Headache.
When dropping the spool, or anything for that matter, notify ground personnel and check that no one is standing directly below.
How you doing up there?
Oh, fair to Midland.
What's your name?
Marty.
Hi, Marty. Why don't you toss your poles to your left over the patroller? Thank you. One through the right. This is the hardest. One through the left. Cinch the whole system to your body. Okay?
Okay.
This is how the system is warmed. We're going to connect it to this cable here. We're going to raise it up to you. With your right hand, I want you to grab the rope. Okay? I want you to pass it around the arm of the chair, and with your left hand, you'll reach around the arm and grab the assembly. You'll pull it through and hook it on as I just explained. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Ready?
Okay, Jerry.
Okay, just put the hook to the side.
Okay, you have it with your right hand. Reach around the arm with your left. Good. Pass the harness. Bring it into you. Okay, now we need a big loop there. What I want you to do is give yourself enough slack to flip the loop up on top of the chair. Just like that. Good. Okay, Jerry. Okay, keep it just like that. Don't
right.
do anything else. Jerry, you'll be crossing over.
Okay, watch your face.
Okay. Jerry, you'll be on belay at this time. Okay, Marty. Now, take the red strap, bring it all the way to the top of the rope. There you go. Red strap cinched to the body. You will hold that red cinch with your right hand. With your left hand, you'll be able to push away from the chairlift. Jerry, are you ready?
Ready.
Okay, take up slack. Okay, Marty, you can work your way from the chair. There we go.
Note the specific belay position for the taco method. To the side and slightly behind the chair. In areas with extreme or difficult terrain, the belay position may have to be changed. An additional rope may be required to pull the guest to a safe location when lowering.
Up rope. Zoom in. Okay, Steve, you'll disconnect the harness from the hook. You'll let the hook just drop down to your right. There you go.
With the cross member method, the guest is instructed to pass the harness around the outside of the chair and over the cross member.
Left hand. With your right hand, I want you to reach around the arm of the chair. Pass the harness assembly to your right hand. All the way around. Good. Around the arm and bring it into your body. Pull a couple loops of slack. Good. All right, guys. At this point, Steve, I need you to toss the rope from the backside over the cross member towards me. Do you understand?
Over this one?
Just like that. Very good. Super. Belay on?
On belay.
Okay, as I instructed, red strap to the top. Come on out.
From here, the guest is lowered as in all other procedures. Note the belay position, in front of and slightly outside the chair line.
Belay off?
Off belay.
In each of the commline methods, the harness and rope ultimately pass through the chair assembly. Should the rope positioning fail, the chair then serves as a backup. With the hook method, the guest passes the harness around the outside of the chair and over the hook.
What you do is with your right hand, take the rope, make sure that your left hand is around the back of the chair. Okay, what I need you to do is to take the rope, and you see that hook to your outside?
Yeah.
I need you to pass the rope over that hook
From inside the chair, from out.
from the outside of the chair coming back around to you. Okay, great. Now pull it back around to yourself. Okay. At this time, take the harness.
With this method, the guest closest to the hook must be evacuated first, and so on.
Okay, come down.
Again, note the belay position, in front of the chair and slightly outside the chair line.
Okay, come on down. Are you okay, sir? Yeah, I'm okay. Good, give me some slack there.
When one span has been evacuated, pull the evac rope through from the harness end so it does not become caught on the chair. When circumstances dictate, the standard evacuation procedure may be used where the communications cable procedure is normally used. Other circumstances may require additional personnel and equipment, such as bullhorn for high-span communication or lighting for night evacuation. Some guests, for a variety of reasons, are unable to put on the harness, and a patrolman must descend the cable from the tower to assist. The communications cable method easily allows multiple teams to work in a single span, and unloaded chairs are rapidly passed. When a wind vane is encountered on the communications cable, evac teams must work from above and below the wind vane to evacuate the guest. After the final span has been evacuated, Make a final check that the line is clear. Then notify maintenance, lift operations, and management so that repairs may begin. Evac bags must be repacked and transported to mid-chalet so that the ropes can be aired out and dried. Teamwork, communication, and continued hands-on training are the keys for a smooth and successful evacuation. For the Mammoth Mountain Ski Patrol, I'm Dave Crockett.
Eric, it is my understanding in the uphill cabin. Okay, 2 people on this floor right now. 2 people on the uphill side. All the rest of them are down to the side. And you're working on 7.
Looks like he's on the cable on the way down to it.
People are asking us. You want to know?
Okay. Who's the next one coming down?
Belayed in here with a belay rope if Luke wanted it. Luke, did you want to belay this bike down or?
I feel pretty good.
Okay.
Shorten me?
Short me.
Short. Look it from here. Fine.
Nice throw, Alice. We got everybody out of here.
Wait for the camera. Middle still confident. Autographs will be given afterwards.
All right, button it, guys. Button it.
That's it.
To get a more oblique angle looking in that door. Can you spot any locations right up?
Oh, just to our right. Big boost iron rack. This would be the time to do it while he's talking.
I know. What he wanted was somebody that I asked. Yeah. Hey, yeah. No, I told you. You see Eric? Put the thing on the wrong side. He came down to the office, which I guess ain't that big of a deal, but you know how there's two cables top. He came down on door side.
Okay. I need everybody to stand back. Stand to the back of the car. Hold on to the railings. The doors are going to open all the way.
I got a pencil and paper in my glove there. Everybody comes up, right and right on their ticket, RC. Make sure they go
Doug's crying and whimpering. Oh, I know. I can give you a ride down to the bottom if you'd like to drink down there. Are you waiting for? They're still awaiting their husbands. Okay.
Hon sa att det var så damen yet. No.
She said okay.
Persze, néztelek. És én kommer från en. Aztán a főnököm Lori, it will be alright, don't worry.
Yay, Lori!
Yay!
True. I got
It's
you,
alright,
Lori.
you're almost done.
Lori, it's fun.
I came up with a better body harness.
Don't let it start.
Yeah, take a look at the way I rigged the harness. It's really handy.
Are you down or what? Let's see how he rigged yours.
Okay, now I move to the last two.
Na hát, lesz messy. Derike, hát na most jönnek majd egy csinálni. Ó, de hogy még az emberek.
to get the cat up here.
No lento non
Okay, Walt. I think he's still doing it on the board. She's an employee. Yeah. Okay. You do not want to go near the door. No. L-A-U-R-I-E. Oh, yeah.
I think the worst part was waiting up there and
Okay, good. Okay.
Windows Senad.
Is he one of yours?
Go!
Yeah, you guys are looking real good.
Okay.
Don't be brave, just hold on.
No, it's a cramp. Okay, I'm gonna grab your foot. Don't let it startle you. Okay. Okay, Walter.
Slow down.
Hold on.
Thank you.
That's okay. Thank you. I'm fine.
A little bit more, Walt. Okay. More slack, Walt. Yeah, the rope's kinking. That's why I'm getting your name. You got a while. Okay, that's good, Walt. Just hang on a minute.
The girls did real good.
Just a minute, my husband going to talk to you. And he can speak English.
He can't? That's okay. Well, I assume that the address and phone numbers are the same. Okay. Sir, can I have your name? George?
George.
Hi. Can you spell that?
K-O-R-M-M-O-S.
K-O-R-M-O-S. That's it. Okay. And I assume the same address and telephone numbers are the same. Okay, thank you very much. Oh, and your name, sir?
I am Ari.
How do you spell your first name?
Got it!
Okay. See you guys.
Get the bike.
Okay. Thank you. 5-9, Dan. Yeah. Right. How you doing? There you go. You're welcome.
You've just arrived at your bus, but before you can begin your route, you'll need to inspect your bus from top to bottom to make sure that everything is operating properly. Here it is, Mammoth Mountain's bus inspection procedure. By following this sequence, in this order, you'll become efficient in your daily inspection, cut down on inspection time, and be able to spot defects sooner. Let's get to it. Before entering the bus, check under the bus for fluid leaks, obstacles, and other obvious problems. Pull down the panel in the front of the bus and check the fluid levels for engine coolant, power steering, windshield washing solution, and check for loose wires. Open the engine compartment inside the bus and check the oil and the transmission fluid. If these are low, fill them once the engine is warm. Note that transmission fluid is measured in pints and not quarts. Sign in, fill out your paperwork, and turn the ignition switch to the left to preheat the glow plug. After about 60 seconds, start the engine and check the switches located on the dash and the steering column. These include windshield wipers, headlights, turn signals, and the door switch. Gauges you should check include the fuel tank, battery voltmeter, coolant temperature, air pressure, and the hour meter. Next, turn on your flashers, turn your headlights on high beam, and exit the bus. Check the right side clearance light, mirror bracket, reflector, and inspect the front tire for tread wear and check the lug nuts to make sure they're tight. Then moving to the front of the bus, check the front clearance lights, high beams, flashers, and bumper. Inspect the wiper blades for wear and look for any damage in general. Moving to the left side, check the left side clearance light, mirror bracket, reflector, and again inspect the front tire and lug nuts. When inspecting each section of the bus, a simple rule to follow is top to bottom and left to right. This will help ensure a consistent and thorough inspection every time. With this in mind, check the entire left side for body damage and cracked windows. Inspect both the rear inside and outside dual tires for proper tread and check the lug nuts and axle flange. If any of the tires are noticeably low in pressure, have them pumped up immediately. Moving to the rear, check the rear clearance light, flashers, license plate, and bumpers. And again, check for general body damage and cracked windows. Continuing around to the right side, inspect the rear inside and outside dual tires for proper tread and check the lug nuts and axle flange. Then, as before, check the entire right side for body damage and cracked windows. Remember, top to bottom, left to right. Next, re-enter the bus, turn the flashers off, put the headlights on low beam, and activate the left turn signal. Then, you guessed it, exit the bus and check the low beam headlights and left front turn signal. Proceed to the rear and check the rear left turn signal. Re-enter the bus, turn the headlights off, and activate the right turn signal. Of course, we must now exit the vehicle, check the right turn signal at the front and at the rear of the bus. Enter the bus once again and cancel the turn indicator. With the motor off and the ignition switch on, put the bus in reverse gear. Then exit the bus and check the backup lights and the brake lights. The brake lights will remain on when the door is left open. Next comes the brake check, which is a mandatory requirement as outlined in the California State Vehicle Code. To begin, start the engine to build up air pressure. When system cutout pressure is reached, note the pressure, which should have a maximum reading of 130 psi. Apply the service brake pedal enough times to allow the system air pressure to drop and the air governor to cut in. This should happen at a minimum of 85 psi. Allow the system to build back to maximum, showing the system cut in and cut out pressure readings. Next, shut the engine off and monitor the pressure gauge for 1 minute, noting any pressure drop. This static test allows a drop of 2 psi per minute. You may have to tap the gauge occasionally to keep it from sticking. Release the parking brake and then apply the service brake all the way down and hold it there. After the system is loaded, check the pressure gauge for air loss. This applied test allows a drop of 3 psi per minute. At this time, turn the ignition switch to on without restarting the engine. Apply the service brakes to reduce the system air pressure and note the pressure at which the low pressure warning devices activate. This must be between 75 and 55 psi. Finally, restart the motor, move the bus a short distance, and apply the emergency stopping system. We're almost finished. Check for the battery and the tire chains, and check for the fire extinguisher and the emergency reflective triangles. That completes the main bus inspection. Now you can inspect the bus for cleanliness while you examine the seats, handrails, and the 4 emergency exits. After you've cleared the snow from the windows, your bus is now ready to be put online. Inspection failures that would keep the bus from being put online are detailed in the bus driver's employee manual and will be discussed by your supervisor. When in doubt, ask your supervisor. In any case, make sure your paperwork is thorough and complete. That'll do it. Have a safe day driving. Every Mammoth Mountain employee required to drive a company vehicle must complete a driver's training course at Mono County Skid Pan Test Track. Normal everyday driving in Mammoth presents hazards unique to any winter resort community. These include extreme weather conditions, snow removal vehicles, and inexperienced drivers on congested roadways. This course is designed to improve driving skills, to promote sound judgment, and to provide experience on slippery road conditions. Located outside Lee Vining, the skid pan site consists of a dish-shaped oval track, 1/4 mile in diameter. 3/4 of the track is covered with oil, and 1/4 is normal dry pavement. Training vehicles are equipped with bald tires, while sprinklers add water to further reduce friction. This video will cover vocabulary, explain driving tips, and outline maneuvers used in the training process. First, a few basic rules of the road. No matter how short the drive, make sure you and your passengers buckle up. In all conditions, drive with a balanced hand position at 10 and 2 o'clock. You should use the right foot for braking and for accelerating. Except for certain conditions, never use the left foot for braking. And of course, never drive faster than conditions permit. Before participating in the hands-on portion of the driver training course, you must be familiar with the following terminology: coefficient of friction, impending skid, rolling friction, hydroplaning, front end swing, and counter steering. The coefficient of friction is a measurement of cohesion between your tires and the road. The amount of grip your tires have on the roadway surface will determine your driving technique. When stopping quickly, we should try to slow down without locking the brakes. Maximum pedal pressure, just short of locking up, is referred to as impending skid. Rolling friction means that the front wheels must be rolling in order to steer. Lock the brakes and you lose your steering. Hydroplaning can cause loss of control on wet pavement. This occurs when the tire rides on the water rather than the roadway surface. When backing to the left, the front end will swing to the right. When backing to the right, the front end will swing to the left. This is known as front end swing. To correct a slide, turn the front wheels in the same direction that the rear wheels are sliding. This is known as counter steering. Comprehension of this terminology is required prior to performing the following maneuvers at the skid pan test site. When slowing on a slick surface, gradually pump the brakes to maintain rolling friction and avoid locking the brakes. You must judge the proper rate of deceleration necessary to negotiate a curve or avoid a hazard. Try to leave yourself an escape route should another car or pedestrian suddenly block your path. Avoid, if possible, sliding broadside from wet to dry pavement. If this happens, steer the front tires in the direction of travel, thereby reducing the chance of flipping once back on dry pavement. Countersteering is one of the more common defensive driving maneuvers used regularly in slick winter conditions. In this drill, you will first bring the vehicle into a slide and then countersteer to correct that slide. After some practice, a series of controlled fishtail slides will demonstrate command of the vehicle. Once the skid brings the rear of the vehicle around more than 26 degrees, it is considered a broadside skid. This is a dangerous position to be in, offering a larger target for an oncoming car. Once this happens, the proper defensive move is to turn the wheel away from the rear end skid and accelerate. This will bring the car around 180 degrees, thereby reducing the target until the vehicle stops. Rear and front wheel drive vehicles each have slightly different handling characteristics. Rear wheel drive vehicles tend to oversteer. The turning radius tightens as the rear end slips towards the outside of the turn. The front wheel drive vehicle tends to understeer, continuing in a straight line as it resists turning. The pulling power of the front wheels can help correct this position. The biggest problem of all with both front-wheel drive and four-wheel drive vehicles is the tendency of people to overrate them. Remember, the skid is usually caused by excessive speed for conditions. Applying the throttle increases the problem. Applying the brakes complicates the problem. As a rule of thumb, if you lose traction in any vehicle, stay off the throttle and brakes until traction returns.
Always wear your seatbelt. It's company policy and it's the law.
This is your opportunity to experiment and learn the tendencies of a sliding vehicle in a controlled situation. Have fun, but use this time wisely. Your life may depend on it. This video is a documentary of the bus driver training program at Mammoth June Ski Resort. Every Mammoth June bus driver must complete 40 hours of training before taking the Class 2 driver's exam at the California DMV. This comprehensive instruction consists of both classroom and hands-on training, covering driving technique, vehicle operation, radio use, route familiarization, and company policy. Classroom training begins with cover-to-cover discussion of the Mammoth June Driver's Manual.
Anytime your bus breaks down, even if you think you're only going to be there a few minutes, start setting those up, okay? I think there's dirt most of 395 on the shoulders of the road, okay? If you can get your bus pulled off 10 feet from the road, you're okay, and that's no problem. Okay, you're coming up here to make your right-hand turn off of Main Street onto Minaret Road, okay? You should allow 18 inches between you and the curb, okay? To allow any more than that, to allow enough space for a car is very dangerous, because what that car is gonna do is try and cut in this way. As you're swinging wide to get your tail end around that corner, he's thinking you're going straight, even with the signal. And you'll find someone coming in this way trying to cut the corner. I'm sure you've all been in that situation where you're behind a truck at a turn and it looks like he's going straight, and all of a sudden you see him cutting over that way. Okay. Gary Dickerson, right there. And then bring it out
Outside, vehicle orientation introduces the driver to the daily procedure of vehicle inspection, startup, and operation.
What you're going to be checking for is going to be right here in front of you and on inside in the engine compartment, but most everything is here. And here's your radiator cap. You shouldn't usually have to touch this. You should be able to do all your radiator filling through this. Okay? The fuses are all inside here in this plastic cover. There's a wing nut on it that you would unscrew to pull that off. You shouldn't have to go in there unless it's something that you want to take care of up at the main lodge. Usually the mechanics will take care of any of that. Okay, we'll go on inside here. Okay, the batteries. The batteries are kept under this first step here. The first step lifts up and you got them inside there under that little protective covering. Here's your dipsticks over here. There's one here for oil, which is reading okay. And there's a cap right here which says oil right on it for adding the oil. Transmission fluid is right down in here. You got to reach down for it, but you can see it.
Once familiar with vehicle operation, each trainee then gains practical driving experience at the course setup in the Chair 15 parking lot.
Evening, you're going to have people that are probably going to want out right here. So we'll have a drop-off spot right at this lot.
Now comfortable with the vehicle, drivers then spend several hours with their instructor becoming familiar with routes, potential trouble areas, safety, and other driver responsibilities.
Start walking up that way. That's fine. There is another stop up here at Azimuth. Okay, at the end of the day, when you're dropping the people off, you can go ahead and drop them off here at this point, okay? The reason being, you're going to have a lot of people wanting to go into Snow Creek here.
Additional training includes garage procedure, vehicle logs, fueling, and maintenance requirements. Back in the classroom, trainees learn about radio communication covering call number signals, the 10 code, and proper radio use.
Talk real clear. You want to keep your conversations very short. That's one reason the 10 code. Okay. So when you go to key up this mic, don't key it up and start talking immediately. Because what happens is, you cut off the first part.
Finally, all Mammoth June drivers are required to take an additional driver's course at Mono County Skid Pan Test Track after first watching this video. Driver training course. You must be familiar with the following terminology. Coefficient of friction, impending skid, rolling friction, hydroplaning, front end swing, and counter steering. The coefficient of friction is a measurement of cohesion between your tires and the road. The amount of grip your tires have on the roadway surface will determine your driving technique. After completing our 40-hour training program, the trainee is allowed to take the Class 2 license exam. After passing, supervisors monitor new drivers as they gain further experience on the job. This video is intended for documentation of the Mammoth June Ski Resort Bus Driver Training Program and is not a training video in itself. are you doing this winter? For a change of pace, why not enjoy a study and work adventure at Mammoth Mountain Ski Area in Mammoth Lakes, California? College in Mammoth? That's right. California State University Bakersfield and Cerro Community College now offer a wide variety of university and college courses at the new Mammoth Education Center in Mammoth Lakes. In conjunction with this program, Mammoth Mountain Ski Area is offering students employment and housing assistance during next year's winter term. One call to the Mammoth Education Center will give you the information you'll need to conveniently set up a job interview, reserve housing, and register for your classes for this winter.
My original idea was to come up to Mammoth just to live in the mountains, to live in a different environment that I'm used to. I also wanted to get a lot of skiing in because I found myself thinking about skiing every day I wasn't skiing. So I had to come up and give it a try. And the school and the housing and the work just all blended in perfectly. My season worked out really well. I've done the best grade-wise in school I'd ever done because I was forced to study. And I've gotten 3 times the skiing I'd ever gotten in before in 1 year. I've made more friends than I have probably in a short amount of time than I ever have in my life. And I've lived in a beautiful environment which I want to come back to year after year.
Mammoth Lakes is located on the eastern side of the Sierra Nevada mountain range, about 5 hours north of Los Angeles. Surrounded by nature at its finest, our neighbor to the north is Yosemite National Park, and due west are the John Muir and Ansel Adams wilderness areas. Skiing is one of the most beautiful and exhilarating activities we can enjoy. Mammoth Mountain provides a skiing experience that ranks with the best in the world. Yet it's more than world-class skiing. It's the mountain lifestyle that makes living here so special.
It's a real lifestyle up here. You learn to make plans to go skiing, and you can go with friends or just go for yourself, go to relax, just go to set your mind at ease. Because some days I'd really be stuck on a concept in school. I'd go out and ski for a couple hours, I'd relax, come back in, and my mind would really be fresh. Well, I was a lift operator this year, and what that entails is you're checking tickets of customers, make sure they have a lift ticket, and you're loading customers on chairs safely. I really enjoyed it because I never thought I'd be able to deal with so many people in the public, and it really opened me up and taught me how to expand my people skills because I could talk to people from foreign countries and different parts of the country, different age groups, and just help me overall.
Working in the rental shop's been a lot of fun. I've met people from all over the world, from Denmark and Hungary, and I think the most unusual people I met were from Germany. They had just gotten done with the wall incident and come in to rent some skis and go skiing in Mammoth. It was their first trip outside of Germany in their lives. I've met a lot of nice people that I work with, made some really good friends that I'm sure I will stay in contact with for years.
Employee benefits worked out really well because the housing that I lived in, we didn't have any kitchens, so we could eat right across the street at the main lodge at half price, and that was very inexpensive. One major benefit we receive is a ski pass for the year, which you can use at any time. You just show up at the lift, pull out your pass, and you get right on. And other benefits we received were race clinics and lessons, and I took advantage of those about one every other week. Also, we received discounts in the rental shop so we could demo new equipment, or if we don't have equipment at all, we could rent equipment, and we get discounts in the sports shop, and that helped out a lot when you're missing one item or another, such as gloves or a hat. You just run in there and you save yourself $5, $10 on items.
When I first got to Mammoth, I had never even seen snow before, so skiing was quite a challenge for me. When I first started skiing, I started taking lessons. When I finally got a parallel down a little bit, I went back and took some more lessons. When I first moved to Mammoth, I had my car with me, but I kind of smashed it up. So I've been using the shuttle ever since. And it's great because it's free. You don't have to pay for gas or anything. You always know when it's leaving, hopefully, and you can get on it if you get out of work in time. It's been great.
The extension program through Cal State Bakersfield worked out really well. We had great professors, and they let all the students participate in class, and we all had our own discussion, and the teachers really helped us out in learning. On my days off, I'd study in the morning, usually from about 7 to 12, and that would enable me to read 4 or 5 chapters in the morning and then I could have the afternoon to ski all day, and then I go to school at night. And I do that 3 days a week, and I stayed up in my homework all through the whole quarter. I was at Long Beach State for 2.5 years, and it's a commuter school, and I was living at home, and I was talking to a lot of friends who've gone away to school, and they were really enjoying it. And I thought I might as well give it a try. And this program worked out perfectly because I wanted to ski, and I wanted to go to school at the same time, so I got to do both of my goals.
The Cerro Cosa Community College has been in existence in Mammoth Lakes for over 15 years. The Mammoth Education Center facility has greatly improved this program, and today students can achieve a 2-year Associate of Arts degree right here in Mammoth Lakes. The CSU Bakersfield and Cerro Cosa Community College programs at Mammoth are fully accredited institutions. Designated classes are fully accredited and transferable. In addition, transferring to Mammoth as an intra-system visitor will not affect your enrollment status at your regular CSU campus. Winter quarter is certainly the focus of the work-study program, but the Mammoth Education Center also offers classes in the spring, summer, and fall. And after the snow melts each spring, locals and visitors alike warm up to the summer sun and outdoor adventure. Fishing, hiking, horseback riding, cycling, and sightseeing are just a few of the popular activities in the area.
I would recommend it to a lot of people because it really puts you in a totally different environment. Different from anything you could ever imagine in a different college. Even if you went away to a real small school, it's totally different because you're up here in an environment where you have a lot of people who live here year-round, and then you have a lot of others who visit, and you get to blend in all of that, and then you also get to go to school at the same time. So you get to experience both parts of that.
The Mammoth Education Center, CSU Bakersfield, and Cerro Cosa Community College are awaiting your arrival in Mammoth Lakes. For more information about our work, study, and ski program, contact the Mammoth Education Center at 619-934-2875 or contact our campus representative. For an exciting change of pace and a quality education, visit Mammoth Lakes this winter. Call today.
Thank you.